I did when I was her age, so I'm like, oh! She's a real cutie. Um, so if you guys are ready, or you have anything you want to talk about before we go live?
I'm Gucci.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So this should work properly this time. I'm gonna hit go live.
Nice. And I'm streaming to Twitter.
Okay, cool. It says choose portrait mode for the viewer's best experience. Okay. How's this look? It's looking good.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Can y'all see this? Are you happy with this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I can just. Oh, that's a little better. Nope. Nope. Oh, nope. So, do we like this one with the space or like this? Bigger?
I think you big and us too small is cool. In wide mode, though.
Oh.
All right. We are live.
Let's try this portrait orientation, because 80% of people are, I think, going to be watching on their mobile device. The application told me I should do it this way. Okay, it looks like
it worked.
It looks like we are live. And going forward, I have downloaded this plugin that I can use for OBS, so that people that are watching on mobile can see it in portrait, and people that are watching on desktop can watch it in horizontal. So I'll have that hooked up next time. But we are live, hanging out with my music producer, singer, songwriter friends, my rapping friends, my music people. I'm Maximilian, and I'm with my friends Dope Stilo and CG Producer. Coming out of Los Angeles, I'm in Las Vegas today. I will let my friends introduce themselves, and then we will get into the topics. Fellas, which one of you would like to introduce yourself first?
Go ahead, CG.
Thank you, man. Well, my name is CG Producer. I'm originally from Colombia, based here in LA. I work as an audio engineer, and audio engineer for films, but music too. And I'm just excited to be here and talk a little bit about music and music on chain.
Yeah, and I'm Stilo. Hello, everybody. My mission is to build community and embrace the metaverse. I've been throwing these amazing concerts for 132 weeks in a row, and it's just done so much for me and brought a lot of success and consciousness as well to the algorithm and everything that's going on and the transition and the new internet. So it's been dope. It's been a 15-year music journey, and it's great to collaborate and be here with you.
I'm so glad you're here, Stilo. So my name is Maximilian. I'm a singer, songwriter, music producer, and I do all the things. I use PreSonus Studio One. That's my DAW of choice. I've been using it for over 10 years now. I'm a power user. I know all the shortcuts and stuff like that. And I'm addicted to Waves plugins. That's my jam. So if you want me to fall in love with you, just start talking about those Waves plugins, especially if you're able to mention some that I don't have yet. I'll probably be, you'll have all my attention. I love to songwrite in all different ways. I love to collaborate. I have not put my musical albums out yet. And it doesn't mean I haven't been making music, because I have. But I felt very much after my experiences in the music industry, and here they are. My first job was at Motown Records. I was still in school, and I learned as much as I could there. And I've had like all kinds of different jobs in the music industry. I worked at recording studios, like the most iconic recording studios in Los Angeles, and in all different facets. I sat in on like hundreds of albums being recorded, albums that you've heard, and my eyeballs were always on the engineer's fingertips, learning as much as I could. But it also helped me really observe all the things in the music industry that aren't working and don't work. And I'm not even talking about the personalities and the human relationships, but I'm talking about the infrastructure. I'm talking about the business modalities, how we get paid, these kinds of things that we are looking at as standards. They don't really apply to the independent musician. We have our own verticals and we have our own modalities. And I think the more attention that we pay to that, the better and the more sustainable our careers will be. And so I'm coming here today. I brought a couple of questions to consider, but first and foremost, I want to share the floor with you and allow you to share what's ever on your mind and bring up what's interesting to you. But there's a couple of things I want to bring up, and maybe you guys can let me know which topic has the most energy for you. But one thing is, what are the biggest challenges you faced in distributing your music through decentralized platforms? This is a topic that I really want to get into because it's something that comes up a lot, and I'm trying to solve this problem. So that's why I really want to know that. The other questions I came up with for today is how do we feel decentralized platforms compare to streaming platforms, right? In terms of revenue and audience engagement, like so that's like another aspect of this. And the third thing I thought we might tap into is how do we feel that since we've entered this space, how do we feel that the technology is helping us evolve as artists and as producers, and like in terms of like how is these technologies helping us like create maybe new verticals? So these are the things that's kind of on my mind, and I open the floor to you to grab onto or introduce a new topic.
Well, I mean, I find the new decentralized platforms fun. I love what they're doing. It's fun to like have a different take on how things are perceived. Um, I think like everything's about to change so much and is changing so much right now. I'm excited, and I just kind of I'm pretty optimistic about everything. Like I would say, if I had a challenge, it's maybe like there's just little bugs here and there, just because they're freshly built platforms, and uploading music onto the blockchain is it's not too daunting. Now, when you talk about like taking more ownership and creating your own contracts, that's when it becomes just a little bit, it just does become difficult. But like if you're doing things right, you should be integrated with a community that has your back, and you guys are all kind of doing the same thing and kind of learning from each other, and then sharing and helping each other. So yeah, it's kind of what I've been able to do with that challenge.
Yeah. You're saying that coming together with your community has alleviated a lot of the challenge that you initially discovered, because the challenges that you find, you now have a community to explore these challenges with. Is that what I'm hearing correctly?
Yeah, yeah, it's just like little bugs, just because the platforms are new, or when you're dealing with the blockchain and third web, or manifold, it's nice to have like a community to lean on, and alleviate those like those roadblocks and circumstances, and help push you through, not give up. That's about me for sure.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I feel like because we're in a space that is pretty much early, we're using platforms and interfaces that are pretty much early. Like I was saying that how we have to be a little bit stubborn if you really want to like be optimistic, on this specific platforms. I feel like, I mean, we have to go around these bugs, but it's all about the core, about creating a community and about having a community, and facing all those challenges together, right? I feel like that's kind of like the cool thing about it, because again we are exploring, and again the decentralization of all these platforms allows us to not only have real feedback, but actually like sort of like give like certain like features to developers and programmers, so like they can actually add more stuff, or work around all these bugs, but I think like definitely it's a challenge for people that are not that used into like the digital world, or at least per se, really good with computers. Like, I mean, definitely it's sort of a challenge if you want to just go around all these bugs. But I think like as a community, and then as you like create like a little family, um, you face all these challenges together, and that's a cool thing about it. It's really like whoever is in this space is really about not only the art, but like about the people, and that's really what it is.
Yeah, that's a fact. Um, so for me, the biggest challenges that I've been seeing, because as I mentioned, being fully transparent, I haven't released my albums yet, but I'm about to do it. But the biggest challenges that I've seen in distributing music through decentralized platforms is I know nobody wants to hear this. The motherfucking platforms disappear sometimes, and then your song is gone. That's a big problem. you know, we had this conversation with God Cloud, and he was telling us like the first album that he dropped on Chain is disappeared because the platform didn't make it.
What platform was that?
Ooh, you know what? That's a God Cloud question. When he shows up, you'll have to ask him. But I can tell you, like, um, you know, I remember writing some articles earlier, like in the late part of last year, and I was looking for music platforms to tell people existed, right? And half of the platforms I wrote in the article didn't make it, and I was really surprised. Like, I think Royal is one of them didn't make it. Do you remember this platform called Royal?
Yes, yes. I think they're still going.
Are they?
Yeah, they're still going on.
Okay, because I saw.
It just doesn't have the same traction as before, for sure. And the core of it too is like, I mean, they are based on a model that they follow. You can get revenue from the streams on Spotify, but I mean, only big artists can make this amount of money, so you can get really like rewards of it. So if you don't have big names on it, then the platform, doesn't really thrive like that. But it's because of the model that they have. But I feel like, I mean, they definitely have no traction as how they had it before.
Because like there, I think at the time I was only able to find five. Because like I stand by whatever I say, right? So like I would never just like take a glance at something and be like, oh yeah, I'll list this one. I like really looked into it, like who's behind it, who owns it, what are artists saying about it. And Royal was one of the ones that I mentioned, and then there was like Sound, a few others, but I mean even like Known Origin is like a huge platform and it's shutting down.
Yep. Yep.
And music platform, NFT music hasn't really had its moment yet. I think, maybe 2025 is like going to be the NFT is the year of music tokenization. But it's just, I think this is it's a really big problem because imagine, I hope God Cloud can make it today, but just imagine, like for me, like the whole reason I'm in this space is because I'm trying to make my music last forever.
Yeah.
And here, I'm putting my music on this platform. I'm trying to make it last forever. I'm going through the extra expense. My collectors are going through all this extra trouble to have something that, will have some permanence. Oh, great, God Cloud has arrived. Let's ask him. As soon as he shows up, let's hit him with a bunch of questions.
Yo.
God Cloud! We were just talking about you. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we were just talking about you, God Cloud.
I heard everything. I heard everything.
Did you hear what I said? Let's troll. As soon as he shows up, let's hit him with a bunch of questions.
Yes. But real quick, my intro. God Cloud, first free drum on the Ethereum blockchain. Done a lot. People call me the Black Force Gump. I've had like a million jobs and participated in many historical things. Currently, the CTO for Miles Colapis Records, regularly founded by George Lopez. And we've got some cool stuff coming up. Just partnered up with a bank called Corbis, which I can announce now because we did all that paperwork, fancy stuff. We're going to build some cool stuff with them, and our NFT platform is about to get a wild overhaul as well, which I'm really fucking hyped about. I'm in the wilderness, if y'all can't tell. But yeah, to you guys' questions about, okay, so to answer the question, hurdles with decentralized music distribution. Obviously, the main ones are getting people to jump onto, these platforms is generally when you do a release um, in Web3, not only do they have to get, a wallet and then get some crypto, they are then having to get onboarded to these platforms as well. And that's just a lot. It's a really big ask, especially when it's already hard enough to get people to listen to your music when it's freaking free, And I think when you put those hurdles in front of it, people really got to be fucking with you to want to, to partake in your stuff. And yeah, when Maximilian's talking about platforms just up in the ghost. One platform which I dropped on, I was the first hip hop artist to be on that. If you want to call it stuff, and go, holy shit, this view is incredible. Wow, I gotta show you guys this in a minute. But the platform I dropped on, they were called Record Shop with no vowels. I can't even tell you guys to look them up, they're not there anymore. But yeah, I dropped there. Made some sales. The stuff was doing pretty good. Free drops that I made ended up being worth, something, which is pretty cool. That doesn't happen
Is his audio low?
in Web 2 often.
Yes, very low.
Oh, sorry. Hold on, let me try and turn up or something. How's that? Can you guys hear me?
Mic.
Is that better? Is that better at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little better.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, the platform's called Record Shop with no vowels. And yeah, the week that or just this one particular week, I was just talking about how I like the platform and how it was easy for me to distribute and reward people my music. I went to send someone the link, and it was gone. The platform was just gone. And we ended up having a good conversation with the founder about everything, and things that he went through during it. And the sad thing was that he said that Record Shop lived and died all in a bull market, So it wasn't like the market bottomed out, and that's what tanked it. But it was just that musicians have a hard time onboarding their fans into this digital casino that is, crypto. But yeah, that's my input. But I'm about to mute and show you guys this freaking view.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow. Woo.
Yeah, that's interesting. The blockchain, for me, like, if the platform dies, the transaction is still on Etherscan. And, like, is there a way to revive it?
Well, the problem is connecting to the link. Like, yes, you're right, it's still there, but it's like you lost the UX. And that's what I think.
OpenSea can scrape the UX. And
Yeah, I think you can also migrate that to another platform too. If
Anybody can.
I feel like that's the whole on-chain thing. It's like no matter even because that is a Web 2 thing, a platform. A lot of tech companies come and go, but I feel like the blockchains here, keep that's for us.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe the NFTs there, but not the data. Like that would be, for example, doing like a ordinal where actually like that information is there on the blockchain actually, But the music, for example, if the NFT is a music and is already like slave to a platform and the platform dies, then yeah, the music is gone or the information there is gone. But the NFT is there.
So when you say that, so let's break all this down for real, because one of the reasons why I brought this up is I would like for us to solve this problem, because I think the solution might be approaching how we're accessing this data differently. And there's some things that I'm really thinking hard about how to solve things like, I'm looking to create a situation whereby every music artist can create like a catalog of their music. I'm thinking about something more like an index, so that way it's showing us the data that's there in a way that makes sense to us.
Yeah, I mean Etherscan does that, but it's not that presentable and it's not that intuitive either. But I think there should be an index of just certain data, especially for music. But yeah, the core problem is that the information of it is not on the blockchain. It's just of course the token. that is on the blockchain. So like that's when it gets tricky, and it's complex. I mean, if the interface or the platform doesn't survive, let's say we're in a bear market, like a lot of platforms can suffer this, and then yeah, I mean the information over there is gone, especially the interface, which is where people we are onboarding the people too, which I feel like it does make sense where the disconnection is.
Yeah, I think, maybe a new workflow has to happen. I'm envisioning something like I go onto the platform, or I should just say like I enter the funnel because I really don't want to go onto a platform. What I really want to do is I want to meet an artist in the street and be like, wow, this guy looks cool, and he says, hey, I'm Stilo. You want to listen to my music? And then he offers me the sleeve of his shirt, and I scan the QR code on his shirt that he's wearing, and I've got his song now on my phone, and when I you know, buy the tokenized version, I would like to right there in that same stroke be able to download the MP3 or the MP4, whatever it is, to my device so that I own it. Just boom, boom back, it's done. And if the platform goes down, that's terrible. But the next part is I would love to have like some type of connection to Stilo outside of the platform too. So like, here's the solution. It's probably not a perfect one because it's kind of analog, but you remember record album liners?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe something like a record album liner is something that could, be downloaded with that file, like an actual something, some type of receipt, something physical that you have with all the data on it, so that if the platform disappears, there's a QR code or something that can get you back to your file. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on solving this conundrum with the disappearing platforms?
I think like the future is like we're really early, and so like the tech is coming, and it's here for us to like play with and give feedback on. So I'm like, when I remember like Third Web is doing a great job, of creating your own NFTs on your own, like on your own blockchain. And so like with Third Web, like I just love that you could you got MetaMask, you could just put a Web3 wallet in your website, and you could connect to the NFT and mint. And I think like the credit card, the payment system, they've integrated that, and they've integrated with Shopify and stuff like that. So like, I think it's gonna be a lot easier to use the blockchain. Like Starbucks uses the Polygon for their rewards program, and it's just it's just the backbone of it, and they don't talk about it, but they use it because of the tech. So I feel like a lot of like platforms and like our own places like Third Web, where you could embed your own NFT into your website, and you could pay with a credit card, and it's just a little bit different way of collecting. So for us, it's like focus on like bringing the value, building your community, and like as everything catches up, it'll all align with itself as long as you like stay consistent and embedded in the tech space and like the music space and the new era right here that we're in.
Definitely. I feel like there's a solution, and specifically, I mean, God Cloud, you can actually do this. That's also how I've seen a lot of people implement this. But basically, the way is like you should have your music token gated in your website. So regardless of whatever you drop as an NFT, people can go into your website, and with that NFT can gate open all the music that you can store there. And because it's on your website, it's never gonna be down, no matter which platform are you on. Let's say sound, let's say whatever, you put your music out there. I feel like sort of like that, and in token gated, like basically your own platform. I feel like I'm sometimes very against like marketplaces, because I feel like, I mean, if you have your community, you should create your own marketplace in your own website, in your own server.
Yeah.
And in that way, like, I mean, you're not relying on having the information, the music or whatever, in platforms that could eventually, die or could eventually disappear. So there is ways, and it all goes with the tokens. I mean, also I know probably you heard about pools. I mean, Maximilian does that too. Like you have your own coin, and you can gate that so people can go to your website and actually open that. I feel like Bonfire is a nice example of that, where you can actually create that token gated platform in your website. And yeah, I mean, you end up gonna be paying monthly for it, but again, this is your website where everything you store there is yours and it's not gonna go offline.
Okay, I love that you brought that up, but let's get into that because there's something that I think we need to address here. The problem with having your own website is that you are now back in the cockhold of the United States government, and you can still get shutdowns, and you're still susceptible to all of the stuff that we're trying to avoid in the first place. What I would try to do is take this, what you said, this idea, and like elevate it so that it's like an on-chain, website, so that just try to even have something that lasts longer than your life, because the problem of the monthly subscription, it's terrible. Like when I die, none of my family is going to pay the monthly thing for my website. And I'm going to be back at square one with having no music, and it will be like I never existed. All of my music, all of my art, and everything is going to disappear. Nobody, and I'm sorry if they're hearing this and they're feeling sad, but nobody in my family even understands like what the fuck I'm even doing. They would not even think about this or where to begin or whatever. Like it's
No,
just
if
gonna be.
if you really want to do it perpetually, you're gonna have to do the ordinals. Like that's kind of like the way to do it.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So how would you do it forever?
But I mean, you just inscribe it into like the chain, which I don't know. I mean, there's a limit of the amount of capacity. I don't know exactly where's the limit. You can inscribe, pictures. You can inscribe gifs. You can inscribe. But I think maybe you could do
Four
a
megabytes.
version. Yeah, I
It's
think
four. It's 4 megabytes. It's
that's
but you
not
know
that much.
no, it's not that much. But you know what? What there's a couple of things. Like number one, data just like text, right? It doesn't take up a lot of space. So like you can have a fully, coded website, and it doesn't, and I think it can be like within those compounds. And maybe, maybe each website is its own. Maybe there's a website. Maybe there's an ordinals website for every album, right? Or something like that. But this is where I'm going to is I feel like I want my music on chain because I do want it to last. I do want it to live as long as possible. And so anything with a monthly subscription, it can't be the solution. And also, here I'll bring up something else. IPFS, right? That's another thing too. It's like, sometimes we like build so much around a service that we're counting on, but any day they could say, hey, if you don't pay us $50 a month, your stuff's gonna get deleted. Or so it's like this search for permanence is kind of serious, because even if we make the HTML website, we still have to store the file somewhere. Like, tell me a song that's under 4 megabytes.
That's true. That's true.
Right, and first off, can you guys hear me? I lost my
Yes, but make it louder if you can. We want the baritone.
Alright, hold on. How about that? Like come back and like yell into it. Sorry.
No, seriously, you don't have to do it like that.
Okay, but you guys got me though, right?
Yeah, for real.
Okay, cool. It's what I really think it comes down to is how savvy is your audience, and what are you really like planning? I know like we're going after permanence and everything here, but it's still really difficult to set all this stuff up and then have it be as accessible as we want it to be. So if you're telling people like, oh hey, and again I'm going to go back to my drop and what happened there and what my intentions were. What I wanted to do was try to onboard my my Facebook homies, right? I had 300 NFTs, and I was like, hey, all you guys need is an email, and then you'll have them in a custodial wallet, but you can move them off chain. But not everybody was savvy enough to do the moving or not move them off chain, or move them from the custodial wallet to their own wallet on chain. But not everybody was, savvy enough to do that. And even when I was explaining that to people, they were like, "Well, wait a minute. Why would they need to do that if this is an NFT and it's here?" And I didn't want to say, "Well, what if the platform goes under?" Because there's some trust issues right there. You know what I mean? And then lo and behold, look what freaking happened. So yeah, I think as long as you are considering how tech savvy is your target audience, for the permanence. And another thing too that just kind of crossed my mind. I know you were saying, with the websites, we're getting back into that kind of like that Web 2, United States government arena and whatnot. But what if, you just try to make your website like a marketplace and be as clear as possible with the instructions on, hey, if for whatever reason this ain't here no more, you got to make this a part of your campaign. And that's something else I always tell people when they're getting into Web3. Like if it's, 4 weeks for an album release, let's say, if you're doing a Web3, make it 5 and make that 5th week about education. So yeah, I just said a million things there. But yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. And I don't even know if we have the answer right now, honestly.
That reminds me, today I was thinking about like when NFTs were big and PFPs were really big. And I feel like NFTs and NFT projects, like to have that PFP, like of a Bored Ape or a certain, company, like it gives you like an identity and like some kind of status. And I feel like that was like the in-game token for Twitter at the time. But like instead of Twitter creating like a marketplace where you could like buy and sell art on the blockchain, like it was OpenSea, and like we all used OpenSea to have our in-game asset on Twitter, that PFP, and then Twitter came out with like the hexagon, and you got the hexagon to show it's a real NFT. So like these little
I
things,
loved it.
digital assets, in-game assets, if you can create a community and then have like a reason why they would get things at your website, in your marketplace, like for me, Spatial, the metaverse, I think it's a perfect alley-oop. You can have a store, like unfortunately, there is like obviously they take a fee, which is, like Roblox takes a creator fee, all this stuff. So it's like, that's the sad part, right? But, I mean, it's where it can, that's, maybe somehow there's a way with, Ready Player Me, you can create your own assets as well, and then sell that on your website when things do, develop along. And then you can tie that to the blockchain. And so the blockchain could be like the future of internet assets.
Oh,
Definitely.
definitely. What are your thoughts, CG?
No, I mean, I definitely think that's kind of like the way to go. And there's so many, how to say, like, I mean, there's so many ways that you can interact with whatever token you create, or with the blockchain, and also with different blockchains, right? I mean, we're talking now just about Ethereum, but like, I mean, you can do something on Teslas, and that would be way cheaper, and that would be like, you can do things more in the longevity type of situation, But I think like it is very true what GovCloud says, analyzing to our market, which are the people in our community, and how can we make it for them easier, right? I feel like that's kind of like the core of it. And in a way, for example, Bonfire, which is like the client for building your website and having a Web3, is like, I mean, as long as you're connected with a wallet and your wallet has funds, it's gonna keep on, it's not gonna be offline.
Are there
So
steps
like,
to set up anything on Bonfire?
yeah, that's what I'm like right now building my website on. Like, I mean, my Web3 website, and like you can basically connect like per se Zora, Sound, and all these different platforms to token gated your community in that website, and that's brilliant because you can offer many different things. Not only like you could connect that also with Hypersub, for example, to make a subscription, and like, I mean, there is many different ways. But again, like the core thing is like, yes, if you want your music to be perpetually online, I don't think there's a core solution for that. right now, especially
Well,
on Ethereum, because original is a Bitcoin and Dogecoin thing only.
yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. Bonfire is a really great idea. I mean, to have a website perpetually online and do all the things like we said, I mean, basically, it's going to have to be like a HTML website, with SVG images. And, that's what's up. But Bonfire is amazing. And I love the functionality. It has really, I want to just give them a shout out because they are, I feel, building the platform for the independent creator. In addition to token gating, which is an excellent feature, they have some truly innovative features. Like, for example, I can token gate and let people come and join a stream with me. Like, they have some really interesting features. But my favorite thing about Bonfire is their contests page. Now, here's a little GALFA from my playbook. When I release music, I've learned that it's really dancers and choreographers and like videos that get people hype about a song. And it's not only just dancers too. Like sometimes I see somebody like snowboarding to a song or doing something else, and it just hits me just as well because it's all about what's coming through my eyeballs when that music is coming through that's giving me the vibes. If the first time I hear somebody's song, I'm seeing somebody snowboard. Every time I hear that song, I'm getting those vibes. So I feel like the visual and the audio together is super powerful. And so as I was coming up with how to provide the infrastructure to ask people to help me, I came onto the Bonfire contest page. It allows you to easily create a contest, and a contest is a great way to incentivize our friends and our creative family to help us get the word out about our drops and everything else. That's where we can lay out the instructions, and we can even set up the rewards right inside there. So I can't say enough good things about Bonfire, honestly.
Yeah, no, and I feel like, I mean, no matter what, as long as we create an NFT and people mint it, you can migrate that to whatever platform. So like, I mean, really, like, I mean, the NFT is perpetual. Like that is gonna be on the chain and it's not gonna disappear, and you can still interact with that and let your holders interact with it in multiple different ways. Which I feel like that's really the cool thing about Ethereum, because there's so many different ways that you can bring that to different interfaces. Like going spatial, going decentralized, going like all this is it's amazing. And I feel like that's really what is going to be more in the future when adoption really comes in. I feel like we're in an interesting cycle right now, and I mean, I'm really optimistic, not only of next year but also developing of this year. And I mean the consistency too of certain creators. Like I feel like that's what I really like seeing, because there's some creators that no matter what they're still doing, they're still present and they're still pulling up. And as long as that happens, things are going to keep on growing.
Yeah, definitely. So, there's something I brought this up earlier, and I would love to know. I see here. Let me let God Cloud back in here. Hold on. God Cloud, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay. Yep. Totally. You sound good too. So this is something I wanted to bring up again. So, how do decentralized platforms compare to the streaming platforms in terms of audience engagement and revenue? Specifically, I bring this up because I remember the first time please don't get mad at me because I'm probably going to say something just now that's going to make some people mad in this stream right now. But I remember we were all talking about Spotify and how the payment for the streams is like so minuscule and everything. And then I was like, yeah, but on Sound XYZ and these other platforms, you don't get any streaming royalties. And can't people go and listen to your whole song on some of the other streaming NFT platforms? Can they listen to the whole song?
Audius has this thing now where it is connected with Billboard and these other platforms too, where if they play, it counts as a streaming play.
Okay.
So you can potentially get revenue from DSP just on Audius. I think that's going to be implemented in Sound and other platforms, but that's really cool, because then it allows you to have that sort of minuscule payment from the royalties. But yeah, I mean, not all platforms have that already built in. Sure.
Yeah, they don't. And, the reason why I mention it isn't because of the minuscule payments, because, that's really a joke. It's horrible. But the reason why I mention it is because in terms of like business deals, right? Data, those metrics can help. Maybe the $30 that you got, doesn't mean a lot to you, but if you can show a partner or a sponsor, hey, I got 3 million streams or whatever like that, that is something that you could turn to a value. And so that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I wanted to bring this up. So, do we feel that, so like, for example, the friends I know, like Stilo, who put songs out on Spotify and places, because you're going to get some engagement, you're going to get a funnel, people coming into you, right? And so that totally makes sense. They have a lot of views. But what about artists who, are only putting their music on the tokenized platforms? Like, are you seeing engagement from that and revenue? Tell me how it's going for you.
I love that question because when I first, I remember like my first year or two in the blockchain game, like I was like, okay, I don't want my music on streaming platforms, and I, had like 300 songs on there, and I was like, I took them all down, and I also had an epiphany, like I was at after like the spatial performance, like I was hanging out with like a lot of the people that put it together, and we were listening to my music, my station, and it was just like a lot of songs that like I was like, man, like it needs to be highlighted and potent, and not a place to store my catalog. So what I'm saying is what I'm tying back to is like I think the blockchain is great and decentralized platforms are great to store your catalog and do that. But like what we use Spotify for is to like, hey, when you're at a party, you're like, hey, boom boom, play this, and what are they playing? Spotify or YouTube. So it's like that's what I use Spotify for. It's just a place to learn how to show my music. So I look at my profile and I'm like, okay, this is what's highlighted. These are the top 5 songs. And like, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel like every platform, every blockchain should be used for like a certain purpose. Like Polygon is great for like giveaways and community engagement and stuff like that. But Ethereum, is like for me like where it's it's going to be a top currency in the world. I feel like so. Um, it's got a different kind of status when it comes to who's involved. So yeah, that's kind of my take.
That's amazing. No, that's how it is. I mean, there's that big discussion, right? About like we can call it purist. That would be like we only put in the stuff on the chain, and we don't put it, no other place else. That's acceptable too, especially if you have a solid and huge community just on chain. But I think like we also have to take into account engagement and exposure. You know, and that's, I mean, yes, we might not be getting paid maybe from Spotify, but there's a lot of ears that pay for that subscription, and for listening music there anyways. So I feel like, I mean, we cannot leave Web2 behind in a way. I feel like,
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of creators are really like the onboarders. That's how I see them, because if you have things on chain but also have things on Spotify, you can tell those people from Spotify, yo, check this out over here, and that's onboarding people, because I mean, not everybody's still on chain anyway. So like, I mean, I think we have to build on both, and that's really the way. It is a little bit hectic because it is demanding. It takes time. It's just sometimes complex to be just on everything, right? I mean, if I really say, I mean, not everybody putting stuff on audios or Sound XYZ or all this stuff, and plus the Spotify. So, and also promoting it, like, I mean, one thing is just putting everything out there, but if you're not promoting and doing no marketing on it, then it's not really doing nothing. So I feel like too, like, I mean, the core thing is try to also focus, learn about your audience. And I mean, if you have more of a Web2 audience, that's good. Like, that doesn't mean that you cannot just, kind of like blind on chain music. Like, I feel like you just have to onboard all those people in. But definitely, it's a thing about being that diverse and having that versatility, so you can have people onboarding and also people that are already on chain that can support you already there.
I'm so glad that you said those things, and I want to hear God Cloud's opinion on this as well. But before I pass it over to him, I want to ask you to clarify something that you said. Um, you were talking about exposure, and absolutely, Spotify is great for that. But I want to just bring up this for us all to consider. There is something, and this is the terminology I use. I call an audience primed for your offer. Primed for your offer. This is really important because what we have is not for everybody. Because you got to have an Ethereum wallet and da da da. Unless you're dropping on a place where they have like Magic Link and whatever, someone can just sign in with their email address. But everybody doesn't have that yet. And so, like, all the people on Spotify are not primed for your offer. In fact, most of the people on Spotify are not primed for your offer, and they can't just hop over and check out that other thing because as soon as you go onto a on-chain website, the first thing it wants you to do is connect your wallet sometimes, and you know, you can't really, you're not ready, and then it's not I think I think it's just something like kind of to consider, right? So I really love your I really love your idea about if you have a 3-week promotion, it needs to be 5 weeks long, and the other weeks need to be about education. That was like some really hot advice about how to translate. How do we take our non-paying, our free music lovers and turn them into music collectors?
Yes.
God Cloud, you want to weigh in on what's on your mind?
Yeah, for sure. Can you all hear me? I'm like standing like I gotta like stand like super still so I don't lose reception.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
But yeah, I mean, as okay, cool. But like in terms of the last thing that I've got like a clear audio on, before hearing everything you said just now was Web 2 platforms versus Web 3 platforms in terms of reach and profit, I guess, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, like do you feel like, that it's like since on Spotify mostly what you're getting is engagement, you're not really getting money. And then on the Web3 platforms, do you feel like you're getting like is it worth I guess without being rude, I was trying to ask. Do you feel like you're getting like attention and engagement from putting your music on the on-chain marketplaces the way that you get engagement from Spotify or something like that?
Um, yeah, absolutely not. And I hope I'm coming through clear here. Like, I feel like the trade-off is, Web 2, you get the attention, but you might not get as much money. Web 3 is you'll get less attention, but it's a higher possibility that you're going to get some significant money. Um, and I think that the balance is just figuring out how to leverage them both. Just like you were saying, people might not be primed for your offer if you're dropping on Spotify and you got freaking bugs landing all over you. But if you got something that you are selling in the Web3 space and you're dropping on, God damn it. Ugh. Sorry. It keeps landing on my thumb. It keeps landing like right on my thumb. So weird. But
It's a finger drummer. It's trying to get some of your vibes.
it's gonna get smushed. That's what's gonna happen.
No,
But
don't kill it. It's just trying to get an autograph. Just wants an autograph.
it didn't collect. It didn't set up a wallet and connect it. But
It
shit,
didn't collect.
where was I going? Oh yeah. So if you've got if you got a web NFT drop coming out, posting on Spotify or mentioning it in a song or whatever, however you want to promote. Even on traditional social media, it might not be. It might not get you the results that you want because those people just aren't hip for that, aren't ready for that. The balance that I found was offering to educate people on Web3, coaxing them over from Web2, wherever Facebook, and just helping them get set up with wallets. And when you do that, they're gonna always mention, oh yeah, this person got me set up. in their origin story, it was, oh yeah, God Cloud got me set up. And through that, that allowed me to leverage some people from, their communities or their like friendship circles to fuck with me on the Web 2 side as well. But for the most part, you really got to try to strike that balance between, not necessarily offering like a product or something, but offering value. Just showing that you can offer value across the board in Web 2 and Web 3. And once you can do that, that's when you're going to notice, okay, the scales are tipping, now they're steady. Now I got that balance, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, then hopefully you can get money from both sides. And yeah, make that sustainable, even though that's easier said than done, I hope that made sense. I've got like bugs like landing all over. But look at this view too. Look at this view.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's just fucking crazy out here. But yeah, it's a balance because like I was saying, none of my Web 3 content has gone viral in Web 2. A lot of my comedy, a lot of my finger drumming has, and that's allowed me to make some good dough, But when I come over to Web 3, I'm not really doing the comedy stuff so much because I know what people are after, and that's when I'm presenting my finger drumming as high art or, God Cloud as a kind of a Web3 Sherpa as a service for people too, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I have struck that balance. So I hope that made sense, but I gotta go taste my, but yeah, I'm here.
Yes, totally makes sense.
That's so true. This makes me think a little bit of it. There's a new feature that SoundXYC just dropped, which basically enables you to include a pre-save link on Spotify when you put your song on SoundXYC. And yeah, you get a free mint of the song, but we get to that conversation of the other time of the stream. We're like, oh, I don't know about a free mint, like putting free, but again, it's I get what they're coming from. It's also a marketing strategy. It's an onboarding strategy. It might be not suitable for everybody. It might not be suitable for all the type of genres, or I put it like that because I feel like we all make music, but we all also branch in different types of genres in music, right? And maybe we can kind of use those things to market or core music. That's how I call it. It's like layers. If you build an ecosystem with layers of your stuff where you have multiple things, metaverse, you have subscriptions, you have different utility stuff like that can incentivize people to really support you. And I feel like that's the core of it, because if you just put music out there on chain, not people really not gonna fuck with it like that. Like, being realistic, like you have to have something behind too, and something where people can interact to with that, and then it's more immersive experience.
Yes. Well, I had to put my crying face on. You started talking about free minutes,
no.
and oh my gosh, that's like the bane of existence right now.
Yeah.
I
They're
think
doing that stuff there. I don't know if you can change that, but it's cool that for example, they are taking account Spotify and being like, okay, if you support me on SoundXYC, you get already the pre-save link for when the song drops. You know?
Um, yeah. I know the pre-save link is important for marketing, they say.
Yes.
That's why.
And numbers don't mean nothing. Let's be fucking real about that. Because bots can just do anything, and everybody uses bots on Spotify, even big artists and labels. So like, numbers really don't really matter like that. But I get it, I get it. I feel like now, especially in the music industry, and you know that too, it's all about the social media. So if you do numbers on social media, that's really what it's like.
But social media has bots too.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either, but that's how the traction goes. Like, you only see big artists coming from TikTok, coming from like spaces.
There is like a huge thing happening right now, and like I don't know if you guys heard of like the dead internet theory, but like there is like a lot of things happening. And companies are spending like a lot of money, and they're realizing like there's a company that sold they spent $10,000 on an influencer, and their returns was $200. So it's like, a lot of these things are inflated, and companies are realizing that. So it's about like how sticky are you? Like how do you really drive? I think uh, God Cloud was talking about earlier. Like, it's about like creating that static. Like, you know, and if you can if you can create your own marketplace, create your own tour, create this, that, like, and kind of just uh, create real community, that's when you're gonna be just priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, onboarding is so important. Education is so important. Like, I feel like we all can do these things, but an independent artist that doesn't know none about that and that wants to be on chain, it's gonna be tough.
Onboarding,
That
yeah, onboarding's like, for me, it's like by example. Like, all of us, we do it by example. Like,
exactly.
for me, I had the success where like I probably made a couple $100 off of streams my whole life. And it's like off the NFTs. Like, I dropped Bonita, sold 120 of them, and at zero point zero 0.01 ETH. Now they're worth zero point zero 0.02 ETH. So there's still like 720 to go, or something like that, or 770. But like, that is my road of, how, if I can sell Bonita out, and if I can throw concerts, and by that time I'll be buzzing, boom boom boom, because little by little I make a step by step. If I can sell Bonita out on this journey, boom, sell out, and I have a buzz, do shows, and then I say, anyone who had this Bonita NFT, I'm doing a special show for you tonight, or I'm doing a special tour. What would that do to the price of that NFT? Or et cetera, et cetera. And if you
Yeah.
have that NFT on the blockchain, you're invited, and it's free.
And it's so important. I mean, I feel like that consistent, especially that you show too, like that's gonna be growing exponentially. But then those first people that got into your NFT and stuff, they're gonna be the ones, kind of being like on the winning side, because the more you grow, the better it is for them, the more value it is, and that's why I feel like it's so important. I mean, I also come like, I mean, I haven't really made more than $150 on DSPs or whatever you want to call it, but I've made some substantial money doing the NFTs on OpenSea back in 2020, 2021. And it's funny because even though it kind of related with my music, it was not really music on chain. But that's the tricky of it. It's like, I mean, we have to diverse. You have to have multiple things. Like to be able to provide that, and people will discover that music eventually. Is we always say that, especially on marketing too. It's like music is the least thing. It's the least sometimes. Like it's all the things that you build around it that really people will like. Oh, I fuck with this artist. So that's kind of like how we have to kind of approach it too. And don't get me wrong, we are so early, so I'm not even tripping on releasing music. Like I know all of you also have a lot of music, and we're just eager to drop it. But
I'm totally tripping. I'm totally tripping.
nah,
I feel
bro,
I'm like,
don't even trip. We're
I
still
dropped
early.
one song this year.
That's it.
That's it, and I love it.
That's the way. And I think like, as the time goes by too, and things go up, and because we're still here, that is gonna help us eventually. And of course, there's not a right time really to drop your music. I'd rather hold it for a little bit longer. I've been on that fight too. I mean, as a creator too, it's like, I should just drop everything,
I
but
feel constipated. I've got all this music
you don't
inside
want
me
to
like
put
a
it out.
giant pizza.
You don't want to put it out there without nothing else to back it up. That's
No, of course not.
so like if this takes you more than what you think, that's fine.
Yeah. Like,
That's
if
fine.
you're like, you know what, I'm gonna create a story. I'm gonna drop a song a week right now. It's Maximilian Mondays, and and if that rewards you through like, okay, how hot was this track in week one? How hot was this track in week 3? And you'll be like, oh, just give me back analytics and data. Kind of
that is totally not how I would make my assessment, because it sounds like heartbreak waiting to happen. How hot was this song? Oh, it didn't get enough views. And then I'll
Oh
be,
no. So then when you
ah.
create, no, so when you kind of create in the future, you kind of know, like you can feel your audience. You know, it's kind of like what I do in the metaverse. Like every Wednesday, I perform songs, and I'm like jump, 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 and if people are jumping, if the place is lit up, then I'm like, this is hot, and you feel it. And there's some songs. I mean, what I realized from the metaverse was like, and throwing like, dropping all my songs and playing every single song I've ever done. Like really, and I realized that my music was really slow, and I didn't even know it. And
Oh, shit!
so I like pitched it up, I speed it up, and now it's on fire, it's popping, it feels hot. And labels do this. Radio stations, they speed up tracks to fit more songs in. So it's just like these little things that you can do to learn about your songs and your audience.
That's dope. That's dope.
That is the alpha of the century, Stilo.
Yeah.
He learned that his music was too slow. That is
And that doesn't mean that it's bad. I mean, it's just a
game.
different, it's a different market too. Like the audience that he's being exposed right there is just they want something more upbeat, because there is a market for everything, even something slow or something upbeat. It's just finding those niches, and that's what is so hard sometimes, you know. Because I mean, we all, our friends might not be into the music that we make. That can also be very true, and that's not a bad thing. It's just we gotta look somewhere else. You know.
No, if you're my friend and you don't like my music, you're fired. I'm just kidding.
Hey, hey.
You're gonna like
That's
it.
it.
But for real though, but CG, respecting your time, I believe you said you have a meeting around this time, so we don't want to.
I got a band rehearsal, so I'm about to bounce. But yo, it's been amazing. Like, I mean, I definitely not only encourage y'all, because you have been more consistent than ever, especially Dope Stilo. Like, I've been seeing his stuff, being on Spatial for so long, and being very bullish on the metaverse, which I still feel like, I mean, that's the beauty about all this, especially Ethereum. It's so many things that you can explore with it, and you have to like do stuff like that. I feel like you're becoming, like, especially on like the metaverse, you're becoming that one specific like talent that is doing that, and that's great. And we need more of those in different types of, like, of Decentraland. I mean, you name it too. But that's the way to go. And we inspire every other artist to be like, fuck, let me try this on-chain thing. Really, that's what it is. You know. So yeah, thank you so much again for having me over here.
Hey,
I'm gonna just jump on it.
where did we meet?
So we met like 6 years ago. We worked at your crib when you were in McCarthy Park.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I produced one of that stuff, and I think I recorded it. It was very early on my stage. I was just in the States, like, setting myself up over here in LA. But what? One of the things that really just makes me not only proud, but it's cool that we're still doing our thing.
Yeah.
That's what is really cool, man. Like, the time flew. I mean, we still are doing our thing, and sort of like we kind of re-encounter here just because of Web3, which is awesome too. I feel like that's a really cool thing. When I saw you, like, you on Spatial and stuff, I was like, damn, bro, like, he find that niche and he exploded that. And that's really cool. I feel like
No way.
which is in a whole different scenario. Also myself too, because I mean, I also be working with a lot of artists, but I sort of like, as my independent artist, or as my own artist, yeah, like, I definitely found on chain like a place where I can, be early and like make connections and like build. But I feel like that's really, really like the core of it, and there's so much things that you can do. So yeah, man, congrats, bro.
I'm pretty sure we have a song together.
I think so, but I'm telling you, it's like 6 years ago, bro. I don't know if you have it. I don't know if I do have it, because my laptop got stolen, so I probably don't have it. Like, I mean, I'm talking like 4 or 5 years ago.
I'll probably have it in one of my hard drives. I'll check it out.
Oh my gosh, Stilo, will you play it if you can find it the next time we all get together?
Definitely.
You can find that, would be cool. But yeah, I mean, definitely we're gonna link up again, man. I'm still here in LA, man. So you already know.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right, man. Be safe,
Much
y'all.
love, CG. Much love.
Thank you.
Wow. God Cloud, when we first got on today, before we went live, we realized CG recognized Stilo. They met in person a long time ago, and they actually already worked together. And as soon as CG saw Stilo's like camera come on, he's like, "Wait a minute!" He's like, "I know you."
No,
And I was like,
I saw him like, I mean, I know in Twitter for like maybe 2 years. So like I've seen his growth,
Oh,
too.
good.
But I've just we haven't been linked up yet.
Dude, you
This is
should
where we
totally
linked
hit
up.
me up, dude. That's crazy. If I'd seen you, I'd be like, oh my god, I know him. I would have DM'd you and been like, what up, Chris?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, but it's dope, man. I feel like again, it's really cool because it just shows that we are about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's really the game there, because many people, especially after the pandemic, I mean, I'm telling you, like living in LA, living through that pandemic, living through all this stuff. I work on films, like I had to live through the strikes, and I'm still here. So I mean, I'm definitely fortunate, but like, yeah, we are about it, and I'm not stopping too until we
Yeah.
keep on growing. That's the way you gotta have, and the mentality we have to have. Because again, it is hard being an independent artist, but let me tell you, it will be rewarding at one point for sure. Especially if we stay here on chain.
Great.
"Oh yeah." Once you go on chain, I mean, how could you ever go back?
Yep. But yo, I'm a bounce. Thank you so much again. Be safe.
Take care.
I'll see you in the next
Bye,
one.
guys.
Much love, much love. Amazing, amazing. What a treat. See, are we all here? Uh-oh. Okay, Stilo might have took off. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you so much, you guys. Great.
Big love. So, Stilo, before you take off, will you tell everybody where's your next event? Where should we come? How do we get there?
Yeah, so every Wednesday I throw a digital concert. You guys gotta check it out. It's
I will be there.
www.stilo.world. We gotta get together. We gotta stream each other's stuff. We gotta share each other's stuff. We gotta grow and scale. Right now I'm streaming this into Twitter and YouTube, so this is recorded there and streamed like to my audience. So this is dope. I'm in Spatial right now, filming myself in the lounge, watching us. So it's gonna be pretty
This
cool.
is cool.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Everyone come through, check out Super Wednesdays. There's the Twitter space before and then an after party, and that's in Spatial at www.stilo.world, 11 a.m. PST. You gotta check it out. It's definitely the future.
And the Twitter space happens at 10 or what time?
It's at 8 a.m.
Oh, 8 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 8 a.m. for the audio-only Twitter space, 11 a.m. for the video and spatial. You want to do both, but if you can just make one, just come to us whatever you can, because it's such a good feeling, it's such a good vibe. 100%.
Yeah, and the space we just talk about tech and the space in general and what everyone's up to, so definitely come through. Thank you so much, you guys. Nice seeing you, God Cloud.
100.
You too, brother. You too, brother.
Take care, brother.
Yeah.
All right, catch
God Cloud. Tell us what you got going on this week and where we can connect with you next.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Well
you.
done, Ines. Well done. Nice track.
Thank you, Ines. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to the mix. Your set is ready.
To the max.
thanks to the Max. I'm gonna switch over to Stilo's music because he's live streaming. But thank you so much for sharing your set with us.
Great party, Elizabeth. Great. I'm having fun with the glow.
Digital hearts in
Or
neon
glow.
skies. Eyes connect across the lines. We're avatars but souls aligned. You and me in a new tech world. Virtual love like flags unfurled. Here we stand, our pride's unfurled. We glow, we shine in this metaverse time. We build, we rise, love in our digital skies. Holograms with feelings real. Our code is love that we can feel. In this space, our hearts they heal. Algorithms match our vibe. Hearts and minds we're intertwined. In the metaverse, love is blind. We glow, we shine in this metaverse time. We build, we rise, love in our digital skies. We glow, we shine in this metaverse time. We build, we rise, love in our digital skies.
In the meta. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, hey, hey, hey. In the metaverse, I see you glow. Virtual eyes, they tell the truth. Pixel hearts, they beat so slow. Honesty shines in this new view. Avatars can't hide the soul. Beyond the screen, your love so true. Through the waves, we find our goal. Hand in hand, we start anew. Ooh, ooh, I see the beauty in you. In the virtual world we do. Honesty is our cue. Our love forever in view. Reggae vibes, we surf the lines. Digital jam in perfect time. Transition smooth, we shift the beat. Here No more hiding, no disguise. Honesty is in your eyes. Even when the system lies, our connection never tries. Ooh, I see the beauty in you. In the virtual world we do. Honesties are true. Our love forever in view. No more hiding, no disguise. Honesty is in your eyes. Even when the system lies, our connection never dries. Ooh, I see the beauty in you. In the virtual world we do. Our love forever in view. What more than I have to provide? Feel it every touch of this electric tide. Eyes deep under starlight, dreams we collide.
Okay,
Whisper
let's
soft and
go.
low,
Ready, steady,
secrets to
go.
hide. Feel the future colliding of the dark. Hold you close, my soul ignites a spark. In the cosmic waves we dance and spin. Harmony of love from deep within. Feel the future colliding of the dark. Hold you close, my soul ignites a spark. In the cosmic waves we dance and spin. Harmony of love from deep within. Feel the future colliding of the dark. Hold you close, my soul ignites a spark. Every beat of our hearts sinking time. Eternal romance always in our prime. Me under starlight, dreams we collide. Whisper soft and low, no secrets to hide. Feel the future colliding of the dark. Hold you close, my soul ignites a spark. In the cosmic waves we dance and spin. Harmony of love from deep within. Decade, beat of our hearts sinking time. Eternal romance always in a prime. Feel the future colliding of the dark. Hold Hold you close, my soul ignites a spark. In the cosmic waves we dance and spin, harmony of love from deep within. Feel the future colliding up the dark. Hold you close, my soul ignites a spark. Hold you close, my soul ignites a spark.
Digital dreams in our world, I see your heart unfold. Lines of code can't hide the beauty behind your eyes. Honesty in a virtual space, feelings without a trace. Your love's my reality, our future's where we are to be.